photos. Alright, so we got this live. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Ah, right. Okay, so everything is live by the looks of it. Turn it down slightly and right. So everything is going live according to this, I believe. Yeah. All right. So everything's live. We're broadcasting again. Let's double check that. Make sure I'm not talking to myself. Probably am, but just want to make sure it is live. And then I'll give the updates. And yes, we are live. Okay, right. In that case, we'll give you some updates. Now, before I do that, I brought in, that's a thawed bag of blueberries. I took blueberries out this morning to thaw. And these have made a big difference, these blueberries. And they're cold, so they keep me awake. So there we go, some fresh blueberries. Now, there we go. Right, so let's have a spoonful of blueberries first. Blueberries. Mm. Mm. Right, what now? What? Here we go. Here. Mm. Sorry. Ow. Oh. Oh, icy. Oh, that was icy, that. Not properly thawed. Anyway, here we go. The latest results we have. 18 minutes ago, Newcastle upon Tyne Central and West declared. This is a strong Labour area. But the results are interesting. Labour. This is a strong Labour area. But the results are interesting. Labour received 45.6% of the votes. That is down 13.6%, which is rather surprising because we are talking about a strong Labour area. And with the Tories doing so badly and unpopular, you expect Labour to be increasing their vote share, but no, they've decreased. Reform is an 18.9%, an increase of 10.7%. The Conservatives are down to 10.2%. They have dropped 16.3% of the votes, so it's a large swing against the Conservatives. Independent candidate, I have to check who that is. Right, so whoever standing as an independent in Newcastle upon Tyne, I'll give you those details later. This is the first time they're standing this election because they've gained 8.8% of the vote, which is an increase from a zero. The Greens, again, have done well in as much as they have increased their votes by 4.8% to 7.8%. Still probably lost their deposit. The Lib Dems have come last at Newcastle upon Tyne on 4.7%. Again, an increase of 1.7%, but they have lost their deposit. So Newcastle upon Tyne, a strong Labour area in the northeast, where a number of men came from. My dad's regiments were there because it's a mining area. Reform are the big gainers, but some way behind Labour, about 2.5 times behind Labour. Nevertheless, they've still come second. This is so far, almost every single seat's been declared. Reform has come second to Labour. Yes, the results so far are Labour 7 seats. All other parties are so far on 0 seats. And 6 of those 7 seats, the Reform Party has come second to Labour. So, earlier today we had Washington and Gateshead South. This is again a northern seat. That was 24 minutes ago it was declared. And the results were Labour 47.8%. And unlike Newcastle upon Tyne, there was an increase of 4.6% in their vote. The Reform Party, 29.1%. That's an increase of 15.3%. The Conservatives dropped to 12.6%. That's a decrease of 21.2%. Those are similar figures to what we were seeing in the Christmas 2019 election when Labour was losing seats in the Red Wall northern seats. They were often losing by around 20%. So we've seen a reverse in the Conservative vote between 2019, the last election declared by Boris Johnson, and Rishi Sunak's, well, where they went for the election, expected to do badly. Greens, Liberal Democrats, and Independent, well, they're all small votes actually. So a strong Labour seat, an increase in the vote. So here we are. Right. Now this one. Oh, now this one is interesting. Now this shows. Okay, we have a result here which indicates what could be happening across the rest of the night. Now this is Swindon South. Now Swindon South is a strongly conservative area. However, these are the results for Swindon South. Labour, 48.9%, an increase of 8.7%. The Reform candidate got 14%. It's the first time Reform has been standing in the area in a general election. Green Party went up 5.2% to 5.7%, and Lib Dems fell. Now, the Conservatives, this was a Conservative seat, are now on 27.2%. That is a drop of 24.4%. The Conservatives have lost half of their vote effectively, and they've lost the seat. The split, the Conservative loss of their vote has been split between Labour gaining 8.7% and the Reform candidate gaining 14%, which together makes up the, just about makes up the Conservative loss, add on the Greens. So it appears the Greens have gained overall from the Lib Dem loss and slightly from the Conservative loss in the vote share. But that is a strong Conservative seat with a swing against Conservatives of 24.4%. So that would normally be seen as a safe seat, and it's been lost to the Labour. Overall, unpopular, Rishi Sunak is very unpopular with the voters. There is no enthusiasm really for Keir Starmer. Declarations, let's see if we can find them for you. Oh, I see what's happening. Right, check what's going on. Right, so now next one we have. Now we're back to one we had earlier. Sunderland Central, in case you missed it. Labour won. It's a strong Labour seat. However, there was no change in the vote, not an increase, not a decrease, which is unusual. Remained at 42.2%. The Reform candidate came second at 27%, an increase of 15.4%. Conservatives third. And that is the overall pattern so far. Labour coming first, Reform second, and often Tories third, or depends on how strongly the Labour seat is. These are, so far, all the northern seats, the only exception being Swindon South being declared, and Swindon South being a safe Tory seat, except this election, it has gone to Labour, and the Tories, against the Tories, being 25%. So, other news. There's a prediction that George Galloway and his Workers' Parties will gain no seats. That would mean that George Galloway will be losing his seat, in which he recently won. And as soon as he won the election, the first sentence out of his mouth was that this was for Gaza. And a number of his Workers' Party's candidates have been promoting themselves and electioneering on promoting Gaza, and certainly putting it on their election literature, putting Gaza ahead of local or national politics. The word is that Jeremy Corbyn has kept his seat in Islington North. If I am right, his constituency used to be Stoke Newington, and then under redrawing of boundaries, it's now designated as Islington North. He's held that seat for decades now, and it's again a safe Labour seat. Now, as you know, Jeremy Corbyn has been expelled from the Labour Party on accusations of anti-Semitism. That's very disputed. However, there are certainly people who are supporting Jeremy Corbyn who have expressed anti-Semitic views. And the complaint was that even if Corbyn himself is not anti-Semitic, his failure to crack down on his supporters who were anti-Semitic resulted in him being finally expelled from the Labour Party. Corbyn's voting record is as a Labour rebel. He has voted more than any other Labour MP against Tony Blair. I think it maybe exaggerating figures, but it may be up to 500 votes. He consistently voted against the Blair government. So you have Jeremy Corbyn, Islington North, voting against Tony Blair and Gordon Brown as the far left, and on the right wing of the Labour Party, Kate Hoey for Vauxhall, consistently voting against Tony Blair, but on the opposite side from Jeremy Corbyn. So it's interesting that Jeremy Corbyn looks like he's held his seat. I did not know what happened. The reason being is I remember that Arthur Scargill stood as the Socialist Labour Party in Derby South, so in a stronghold for the mining, and he did badly. I expect him to do far better, but he got a very low votage, only a couple of thousand. Although Arthur Scargill has become very unpopular in the area, and with the miners' union has since been expelled from the National Union of Miners. We can go into the various issues, but he mishandled his struggle against Thatcher. It comes down to the miners' strike was not handled very well, and blame has become increasing on Arthur Scargill over the years. There was another one I was thinking of. Oh, yes, a Liverpool seat. It might be Liverpool Riverside. Liverpool seats are, like Islington North, one of the strongest Labour strongholds. Very high Labour turnout. And some years ago, when we had the militant tendency putting up candidates, the vote was so split that it was along the lines of 12,000 for Labour, 12,000 for Labour, 11,900 for Militant, and 11,920 for the Conservative. So by splitting the Labour Party in half, this strongly Labour seat almost became a Conservative, which would have been an interesting result. But by the sounds of it, they're saying that Jeremy Corbyn has retained his seat in Islington North.